Good afternoon, welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV, where you join us on the back end of day 2 of Fujitsu Forum 2019. Starting to thin out a little bit as guests make their way to Munich Airport, which is probably the only place in Munich busier than the ICM this afternoon, but we're not done. We've still got a whole host of insight coming your way as we look to address the key challenges that are facing your business and society right now. We also like asking 1 or 2 challenging questions on Fujitsu Forum TV, don't we? And that's where we're going next, because believe it or not, we're going to be talking mainframe in digital transformation. Now, when I got the briefing on this, I had to read it twice because I thought mainframe was quite an old technology. Now, with me to convince me why I'm wrong and explain why I need to do a bit more learning, I'm delighted to say we're joined by Florian Holl, who's the head of the BS2000 Co-Creation Projects team for Central and Eastern Europe. I know it's a new team, we'll come on to that later, but firstly, mainframe digital transformation.
Well, are you that surprised, really?
Do you know, I genuinely was, because I've obviously got a naive view, and you're about to educate me. I thought mainframe was one of those old technologies that wasn't for the here and now, but clearly it is.
Well, for many enterprises, the mainframe is still the cornerstone of their IT. So all those enterprises that have been in the business for a couple of decades, they started their actual digital transformation journey maybe in the 80s.
Wow.
It was only just not called like that. And by then, they put a mainframe in their data center, had it as their backbone, and many applications that they wrote back then are still running more or less the same way.
I'm not sure it makes sense to ask the next question. I was going to ask you how difficult is it to integrate the mainframe into digital transformation, but if they've been doing it for 20, 30 years...
Well, digital transformation as such is, first of all, a new term, and it has obviously changed over the last couple of years radically. But still, our mainframes, especially our BS2000 mainframe that we host in Europe, offers all kinds of open interfaces, offers all kinds of usability tools. So for many newcomers to the mainframe, it might be a different system that they don't learn at school or university. But the concepts they learn, they can use on the mainframe as well. And nowadays, we integrate our mainframe into, say, the blockchain, into standard interfaces. We have web interfaces for management. We do all that stuff, even with a mainframe. It's just a backbone system.
So, what about the really new technology coming through? We're hearing a lot over the last 2 days, AI, blockchain. How do those technologies play with mainframe then?
Well, it might sound like 2 different worlds hitting each other. But in reality, the mainframe still runs, gives the stability of the application and still runs it for over decades now. And everything that's around it just adopts into it. And the new technologies coming up on the market helps our customer to make use of their mainframe even more.
Fascinating stuff. I suspect there'll be a few boardrooms, they'd hear mainframe and they'll probably be thinking, what about future-proofing? But if it's been around for decades, as you say, is it set up for the coming decades?
It definitely is. So we currently already give like 10-year contracts on writing. So we give 10-year guarantees. So we've got the guarantee from Japan that they will still be developing and producing new CPUs for our mainframes, and we are actually setting up our own teams here in Germany, developing the operating system further on. So while many colleagues in the mainframe area are looking into their retirement soon, I don't think anywhere close to that, and actually we've got more and more colleagues coming after me. So when I started, I was the youngest in the mainframe area, but by now there are areas where I actually feel old.
Well, one thing that's new is the EPS Co-Creation Projects team.
True.
We've been tracking the co-creation team for a number of years now. I mean, off camera, I think I was saying, I remember talking to Joe Box 3-4 years ago here, and seeing how that's evolved has been really interesting. I mean, what do you hope to achieve by the end of year 1? If you're sat back in the chair in 12 months' time, what are you telling me you've done?
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that question. It's tough to say, because we are at the very starting point of co-creation in the mainframe area. But what I I really do hope is that after our first year, we have at least had, say, 2 or 3, I don't even want more, 2 or 3 great projects integrating new digital transformation topics into the mainframe area together with our customers, with whom we've been partnering for years, and I hope it can go on like that.
And I'm assuming you're using the same human-centric design processes that the rest of the co-creation team adopt?
Of course we do. They're not limited to any kind of technology, and I've been to several workshops now myself, and I do really like the approach, because especially in the mainframe area, many experts, many developers, technologists are certainly really, really good at their field, but they are too much looking into solutions rather than to explore the problem. And I think this is where HXD can really help them to take a different perspective and then maybe find out that it's not the mainframe as a platform being a problem to them, but maybe the way of looking at it.
Florian, fascinating stuff. Well, there you go. I was wrong for saying that mainframe was old school and had its day. It's only just getting started by all accounts. Thank you so much for coming and having a chat with us.
Thank you.
We have still got plenty more insight coming your way this afternoon from Munich. And up next, we're actually going to go and have a discussion around SAP. The landscapes have to change by 2025. What does that mean for SAP for HANA? Well, next we'll be answering that. Join us. What time are we at? It's 3:08. We'll be back at 3:30. With that segment, and we'll be live every 30 minutes through to 4:30 today. Still plenty more of learning to take out of Fujitsu Forum 2019. Stay with us.